Hi everyone, CFL Park Hopper here, and we are going to be broadcasting from home for the next few weeks. Unfortunately, due to coronavirus, as you know, Walt Disney World, Universal, Seaworld, and Busch Gardens, all of the parks here in Orlando are closed. But we are still going to talk about things like planning your trip and things to look forward to in the future at all of the parks, because, we might as well just keep a positive attitude, and this will all be over soon enough. So today I want to talk about how to best plan to reschedule your Disney World trip, or maybe, you're thinking about still doing a Disney World trip in 2020 and you're trying to figure out the best time to come. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of coming in the summertime or in the fall or near Christmas time, and the different kinds of things that the parks offer at each of those times of year, what the weather's like at each of those times of year, and the crowd levels as well. So let's talk about summer. So maybe you had a spring break trip and you're trying to reschedule it, and you still want to do it in the summertime due to school still being out and not having to take kids out of school. So summer right now, I would think maybe to plan for July or August, because June, it's still hard to know. Should I plan for June, and what's going to happen when the parks reopen? We don't know when they're going to reopen. Right now they say they're closed till March 31st. Of course, that could be extended, and all kinds of things. So if you want to be safe, I think for summer, maybe picking July or August. However, you have to really think about weather. It is very hot and humid here in the summertime, and it rains every afternoon. We get afternoon thunderstorms every day, typically between 3 and 5 p.m., and they last maybe 20 minutes. They could last 2 hours. They could rain all evening. It just depends each day. But you do need to plan for warmer, hotter, humid, and rainy weather for the summertime. As far as events in the summer, we don't really have a lot going on at Disney World. Right now, Epcot is supposed to be doing a Flower and Garden Festival. It would be awesome, I think, if they could extend that once the park reopens, but it's hard to say if they will. Epcot usually doesn't have any events going on in the summertime, so it's typically kind of a slower, quieter time for Epcot as far as festivals are concerned. There's nothing really going on. However, new rides are supposed to open. The Ratatouille ride in France is supposed to open this summer, and they are supposed to start the new fireworks show Harmonious also this summer. There are no slated opening dates for anything, and I believe that construction is kind of halted right now with the COVID-19 going on, so who knows if those things will be delayed, but right now they are to open in the summer at Epcot. Hollywood Studios doesn't really have anything extra that goes on, but they have brand new stuff like the Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Railway just opened March 4th, and I got to ride that right before the parks closed, and that is a really fun ride. We also have the new Rise of Resistance ride with at the Star Wars Land that has boarding groups available for that, and I have a video on that. I have a new video up. It's like a new touring plan for Hollywood Studios. So it tells you about how to get a boarding group and the fast pass tiers now at Hollywood Studios and things like that. So Magic Kingdom, I believe, is supposed to be doing their evening villains event. It's an extra ticketed event, but it's like an after hours event. So it's a villains party, and that will be going on select nights in the summer. Hopefully they will be bringing that back once the parks reopen. But other than that, there's not a lot of extra stuff that goes on in the summer, but it is a hotter time of year, and it's usually a more crowded time. And then let's talk about if you come in the fall. So October and September are kind of different weather-wise. So September is usually our most wettest month as far as the rainy season that's still happening from July and August, and it's still hot and humid. October tends to dry out a little more and be more dry, but it can still be 90 degrees every day and kind of more like direct sun in the afternoon, I think. But both of those times are still swimming weather, because people have asked, can I still swim in the fall? Is the water parks open? Our water parks and our pools are open year round. To me, it is still warm enough to swim in September and October, definitely. So crowd-wise, September is usually less crowded because school has just gone back into session, and people don't typically take a lot of family vacations in September. October, though, there are fall breaks that happen at schools around the country, and sometimes they're off for like the week around Columbus Day. So if you find Columbus Day on your calendar, typically that week in October is really busy. It's a very busy break week. So keep those things in mind. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about rebooking their trips for September and October that we're supposed to have a trip here in March for spring break. So I'm kind of expecting that the crowd levels will go up for September and October, even a little more than they typically do, just by people rebooking, as well as those that were already planning a trip at that time of year. But it is a really fun time of year. Epcot has Food and Wine Festival going on. It usually starts in late August and runs all the way, this year it ran all the way up to the week of Thanksgiving. So it's a very long festival. It's a very busy festival that draws a lot of people to Epcot, and it's a lot of fun. And then at Magic Kingdom, they do Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and that usually starts in mid-August, and it'll run again all the way till around Halloween, sometimes like November 1st or 2nd, just depending on the calendar. So, and that's an extra ticketed event, but those are two major things that bring extra crowds. And I have videos from the past for Mickey's Not So Scary and for Food and Wine Festival from this past year, so you can check those out. We'll put the links in the description below for those videos, as well as that one about the Hollywood Studios touring plan that I was just talking about. So you can watch those and kind of help yourself plan with that. And some people have asked what it's like in November. Well, November, the weather starts to cool down. So the temperatures in November that we get are typically 60s to 70s. It can be 80s as well. It's a wide range. The closer you would come to Thanksgiving, like if you wanted to come Thanksgiving, we could probably be a little cooler. It's not typically, to me personally, swimming weather at that time of year or water park weather, but if you're from a northern state, you could think it's swimming weather. They do heat the water at the pools and at the water parks. And so it may be okay. Now, one water park typically in November will be under refurbishment. So it'll either be Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach. You just have to look at the calendar to see which one it is. And then one park will still be open. So in the winter time, they do the water park refurbishment. So one park will stay open while the other one is open, and then they'll switch halfway through the winter. So if you look on the Disney World website, it'll be able to tell you which one is closed and which one's open. So that can help you with that. As far as crowd levels in November, early November is the least crowded. So like the week right after Halloween would be best. And some people really like to come that week after Halloween because they kind of get a mix of Halloween and Christmas all in one. There's some people who can plan their trip and come and do a the last Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and then they're here for about 10 days and they're able to catch the first Mickey's Very Merry Christmas party in November. So that would be kind of a cool thing. And you get to see the parks transform from fall to Christmas. So Magic Kingdom typically goes from like fall decorations to Christmas decorations, like overnight almost, around the 1st or 2nd of November. So if you're really into seeing the different holiday events, I highly suggest coming at that time of year. And again, Epcot would still be having Food and Wine Festival. If you're here closer to Veterans Day time, but around that time is about when Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom will switch to having Christmas at their parks as well. They start having them a little bit earlier. So you can definitely start catching some Christmas things, as well as, like I said, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which is, again, a select ticketed event, would be starting up at the Magic Kingdom. And if you decide to come Thanksgiving week, it will be busy. Holiday breaks are always busy at the parks. But I don't find Thanksgiving as bad as like the Christmas break. So Thanksgiving to me is kind of similar to spring break crowds. In the first couple of days of the week, like the Monday and Tuesday and that first weekend before Thanksgiving, it's not so bad. And the most busiest time would be like from Thanksgiving Day through the Thanksgiving weekend. That's a much more busier weekend. But at that time, it's full-blown Christmas. Epcot will start its Christmas festival stuff usually the day after Thanksgiving. And that's the International Festival of the Holidays. So you can check that out, as well as, you know, it'll be full-blown Christmas at that point. And the cool thing about Thanksgiving Day at Walt Disney World is every single sit-down restaurant at Walt Disney World does a traditional Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day. So that's part of their menu. So they'll add a special offering, and each restaurant will do it slightly different. Some restaurants will do, like, you get one plate of food and it's turkey and mashed potatoes and whatever vegetables and whatever they decide. But a lot of times it's all you can eat. Like, they'll keep refilling the plate. Other places that are buffet style may have Thanksgiving food on the buffet. And so it just depends on which restaurant you book and how that particular restaurant does it. But everybody offers some kind of Thanksgiving meal, which I think is cool because, you know, who doesn't want to have traditional turkey and mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving? And when you're here on vacation, sometimes that can be harder to find. So I hope that gives you some good ideas of when to plan your trip for the fall. Again, it's going to be suggestive to each person what they're looking for, but and when you can take a trip, you know, for some people don't want to miss school in the fall time. So it's when you could take a trip and it'd be best for your family, or it may depend on your work and your job and when you can take off. But if you can plan around weather and plan if you'd like theme park or water parks, I should say, hopefully what I've told you now will help you in deciding those things, or certain holidays too. I think that that's a big factor. So I am going to put some links in the description below, again, for the Halloween party at Magic Kingdom and the Christmas party, as well as Epcot Food and Wine Festival and the Hollywood Studios, how to plan your trip right now, because that's really important with the boarding passes at Rise of the Resistance and for the Fast Pass tiers. They've just changed, and I don't see them changing again before you would come on your trip in the fall. I think those things are going to stay in place for a while. So that will help you plan as well. As far as hotels and things like that, I think if I could dream big right now, which I think would be fun, you know, on everybody's list, I'd pick to stay at one of the deluxe resorts. I've been fantasizing lately about between Wilderness Lodge, the Beach Club, and the Polynesian. And so when picking a Walt Disney World resort, again, you're going to pick what's best for your family as far as, you know, the needs of the accommodation size and budget. So the three that I've just mentioned, those are all deluxe resorts. And again, I'm just dreaming big because I can't wait for stuff to reopen and be able to go back to the parks. But those are my three favorites, I think, on the deluxe line. And the Wilderness Lodge, I think, is my top-notch favorite. It's a little bit off of the Magic Kingdom. You can take a boat to the Magic Kingdom from the Wilderness Lodge. Then you would take buses to all the rest of those parks. But it's just a beautiful resort. It's designed like the Northwest United States and the wilderness, and it's just really pretty. The Polynesian is right on the Magic Kingdom Resort monorail line. And it is all Polynesian Hawaiian themed. And so it's a fun tropical vacation getaway. And it's right across from the Magic Kingdom. So you can monorail over to the kingdom. You can get a monorail then to Epcot as well. And then you're only busing to Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. The Beach Club is one of the Epcot resorts. And it is right out Epcot's back door, right at the entrance to the International Gateway by France. And I like that idea that you can just walk out your door and walk into Epcot. You could also walk to Hollywood Studios. It'd be a little bit of a walk, maybe a mile and a half, but it'd be some fun exercise. You could also get a boat to Hollywood Studios. And the brand new Skyliner that opened up, the station for Epcot is right there at the International Gateway. So you could walk to the Skyliner and you could skyline to Hollywood Studios as well. So you'd have some different options of transportation, but you would still take a bus to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom from that resort. But those again are on the deluxe line, so they're more expensive. We do have moderate resorts, which are middle priced. My favorite of the moderates would be Port Orleans Riverside. I love the property, being able to walk around. But the Caribbean Beach now has the Skyliner located right at the Caribbean Beach. So you can walk out of your room at the Caribbean Beach, get on the Skyliner and head to Epcot or Hollywood Studios. And then you would be taking buses to Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom. And then there's the lower tiered resorts, the value resorts, which you have Pop Century, which is also a Skyliner resort now. So that's pretty cool. And again, you take Skyliner to Epcot or Hollywood Studios and buses to Animal or Magic. And then the value resorts of the All-Star Sports, Music, and Movies, those are close to Animal Kingdom, but you'd have to bus to all of the parks from there. So there's different prices, different tiers. I would definitely check out the Disney World Resort website at disneyworld.com. And there you can look at all of the different resorts and pick which one would be best for your family. So, and they would also have more details on the different events that I've talked about as well, where you can see pictures and things like that. So check all of that out. Check out our links in the description below to see more videos, and we will have more coming here from the house as we continue to navigate our future here until the parks open up. But I will be discussing things for Universal and things for Seaworld as well, all of Central Florida's parks. As you know, we are CFL Park Hopper. If you like today's video, hit like and subscribe down below to see more, and thanks for watching.